Grenadier owners and future Grenadier owners, this is the first Rotora big brake kit for the Ineos Grenadier, and today I just want to show you a comparison of what this kit includes as it compares to factory. So right now this is the takeoff. This is the factory disc, one piece, and look at that. It is vented, but you know, hastily, I guess, or I guess should say to like factory OE specs. See how they're rounded in there. And then this is the caliper. So this is a 2-piston caliper pressing up against the rotor. So you got obviously 2 pads, but it's a 2-piston, and that's the size of it. Then we've got the brake line, which they were awesome enough to do stainless brake lines, but here's the upgrade. So we've got a big brake kit. This is 6-piston, 3 on each side, right? You've got bigger disc. This is a slotted disc, 2-piece stainless steel hardware with expansion hardware connecting the two so that the disc doesn't warp the hat as it gets hot. Also, look at the vents. So way more efficient in the cooling of the rotor. And then these slots, they're also, they can be ordered, special order drilled, you know, for additional cooling. But this is the way we order them all, with the slots. And what's great about this is these are designed to cool, but also clean the pad. So every time it rotates through here, it's scrubbing the pad, giving it a nice clean surface versus just a flat surface. So that is the design of the Rotora HG Challenge brake system, which is used in a lot of their armor truck products. Then the kit also includes the stainless brake lines, which are extended, additional 4 inches. And this is an 8-piece kit. So you've got the one that comes from the caliper to this section right here, and then over here completes the kit. So it's 2 pieces on each corner, so it's 8 pieces total. And that gives you a 4-inch extension. This is the OE. It comes down along here and then ends at this point. So from here to here is about 4 inches, and that's a 4-inch extension. So that's going to give you, you know, if you're going to do a lift like the Eibach springs that are a 2.5-inch lift, these you're going to want, because you're not going to want to stretch your brake lines and make that the limiting factor. So brake lines can be purchased separately as a kit, you know, and then you can purchase obviously the big brake kit that comes with the extended lines as well. Just side note, obviously these are the new Kings. These are available through Shadowmark as well. These are 2.5 performance shocks with a remote reservoir adjusters, short fin reservoir for cooling. And then I mean, these are the 2.5 Eibach coils, but if you want to use your stock coils, because you don't want the lift and you just want better shocks for a better feel, you know, and performance from your suspension, then we can do a leveling kit, or a leveling kit is coming out in a week or so. And that'll be a spacer block that will go inside here and put a little bit of preload on the coil, but it'll lift it, and that will level out your Grenadier so it doesn't have the rake stance, which is a, you know, higher back end and lower front end. So that's coming out, and that's going to be relatively cheap. I think it's going to be about $150 for a pair of leveling kit spacers. So we'll sell this shock setup with the leveling spacers if you don't want to do a lift. But also you can buy these shocks, a special order as well, without the adjusters, and so it'll have the remote reservoir and the shock body, and it'll be a little bit cheaper if you're not totally, you know, into tuning your shocks. I think it's about $400 less for the kit. So the kit is $1694 for front and $1694 for the rear, and then minus roughly about $400, $380 I believe, if you don't want the adjusters. So you'll get a good performing shock without the adjustment, which is okay actually, because some people don't really touch the adjusters once they get it. And when you buy a shock from King, you can actually get it revalved for free for the first time. So let's say you buy a shock and you may say, hey, I know I'm not going to be able to tune it the way I want to with the adjusters, but I can just tell King, I'll order it from Shadowmark and then tell King to make it really firm or firmer. You know, if you want, you know, a better handling, more controlled feel, or you could say I want it maybe a little bit softer. If you just kind of want it to be a little bit more plush, you know, because you're not really going to do a lot of off-road. So the choice is yours. And then also, these are the Eibach coils, obviously 2.5, and a lot of people say, you know, maybe they might be too harsh, the coil is too stiff, or it's just a little too high, which puts strain on the drive shaft and other components. So we are coming out with a coil that's going to be softer, and is only going to be a 2-inch lift. So that should be coming out by the end of the year, or probably a lot sooner than that. But so that'll be coming out, and yeah. So let's move on to the rear and see what the difference in the big brake kit is over there, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth as well. Here we are at the rear of the Grenadier. This is a 4-piston slotted 2-piece rotor. Again, you get the nice vents. These calipers come zinc plated, which is a silver basically, but we can get them custom colored for an additional $100 per caliper to whatever you like. There's actually a difference. You do have to pay for this color, and if you want the logo to stand out as well in white or whatever color, that's additional. I think that's an additional $50, you know, if you want that look. Anyway, this is a 4-piston, whereas the OE is a 1-piston 2-piece rotor, a lot bigger. And then also the extended brake lines. So this is also one piece here, but then you can see in the back is the other extended 4 inches as well. And then you can see that there is sleeve protection on the line. So those are stainless steel Teflon coated, extended. And this is the factory one piston. Factory stainless steel line. And then this is the disc, 1 piece, solid, so no vents. See how tiny it is. So you've got that and that small little caliper. And then this is the 4-piston. Now, here's the caveat of this. Because of this parking brake mechanism, you have to omit or delete the parking handbrake. So I did it because I get more benefit out of a big brake kit in the rear for balance braking, and I don't ever use the parking handbrake. So for me, I'll get way more use out of this, more value out of it than I would a parking handbrake. But maybe some people might want to use their parking handbrake for whatever reason, out of, you know, habit or necessity. I just don't use it. I've never used it. Don't see a need for it. Of course there are needs for it, but for me, that percentage of use would be very low. So, and I would use this every day. So there's that. Here's another look of the brake line. There's the sleeve, or the protective sleeve, and you can see how close it is to the coil, and that's why that sleeve is there. The OE line doesn't have that, so this is extended 4 inches. And another note is that it does indicate left on there. So each line is specific to its side. So you've got 8 pieces if you're doing the front and rear, and then there's going to be a left side and a right side. So that's very important to note, and it also be put on the package. So this is the right, and this is the extended part of it, and then there's the caliper. Shout out to Pro Eagle too. Look at it lifting up off of the slider. These are the white knuckle sliders. There, these are tilted the 20 degree, but if you buy the flat 0 degree ones, you could totally lift off of this outside part. I do it on my other rigs, so this is the flattest part the Pro Eagle sits on. This is the 3-ton, just kind of side note, but this thing's big and heavy, but it's a beast. It lifts this Grenadier up with no problem. All right, while we've got this open, obviously you can see the Eibach kit is here, and then the King's piggy hose, adjusters, and that's it right there. So the front kit can be purchased by itself. That's listed, the price on the website, on the shadowmark.com website under the INEOS Grenadier section. As well as the rear is optional, but for me, you know, I like a complete kit, so I do front and rear, and those are available, like I said, the details about them also on shadowmark.com. You can get the Kings on shadowmark.com as well, and bump stops are coming, 2-inch coils, or 2-inch lift coils I should say, are coming, and then obviously the extended brake lines are available to purchase separately if you want. So lots of options, lots of great things coming for the INEOS Grenadier. So some people might say, you know, what do I need like a big brake kit for? I don't know. I mean, if it is a 6,000 pound, you know, rig, so it is kind of on the heavy side. But, you know, we are weighing these things down, you know, with, you know, rooftop tent, interior builds. Some of us are towing. So I think that's really going to help, especially when we're looking at what factory provides, which are, you know, 1-piston rear, 2-piston front, you know, upgrading to a 6-piston front and a 4-piston rear will increase the efficiency of not only your braking, but your safety, the stopping performance, of course. Yeah, I mean, the big brake kit is a high value modification that is often not looked at or considered, you know, because it's not as flashy, you know, as all the other mods. But I think, in my opinion, probably one of the better upgrades that you can do for street or off-road. Side I did a different color. This is their light blue, matches the wheels. And like I said, you can order different colors, but this is the light blue one, and I just did different colors because This is a Shadowmark company truck and might as well show off the different options. Different colors. Yellow, orange, black, red, white, dark blue, all of the above. All right, that does it. If you have any questions, leave a comment and check out shadowmark.com.